Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This video is going to be about the new Blossoming Beauty collection by Kiko Milano. This is their spring collection and I'm very excited about it because I love what they did with this. I love the packaging. I just love flowers and spring and pastels, and that is what we got. So let's get right into it. So Kiko Milano has launched their spring collection and I actually got quite a few products because this is really my type of collection. What I already told you, this is so up my alley. So I've got quite a few things to test and to show you today and I'm very excited about it. Let's just begin. I'm just going to show you everything. So first up, I picked up the bronzer. The products in this collection basically have like light yellow, light purple, and kind of like light pinkish packaging, and I really love the colors that they chose. I think this is a beautiful packaging, beautiful box with the yellow flowers, and then inside we have the actual packaging, which is a light yellow. It looks a little bit bright in this lighting. It's a little bit hard to show you, but it's like a light pastel yellow. I think it's really pretty. They have this flower on the top. This shape of packaging, this is something they do a lot, but then they kind of change it up, and they changed it up this time by having this pattern on the top part of the packaging. And then we have the actual bronzer. I picked up the shade Bright Sienna. This is the darkest shade. And by the way, this one is called the Blossoming Beauty Floral Bronzer, and it has this very beautiful flower embossing on the inside as well. Very pretty. I usually quite like the bronzers by Kiko, so I'm very excited by this one. I just love this color. Then I also got a blush, and they have some pretty interesting blushes in this collection. So the packaging of the blush, the outer box is purple with the flowers. This is the multi-finish floral blush. A very pretty packaging, very much like the bronzer packaging. And then the actual component is also very much like the bronzer packaging, but it is purple. This is such a cute shade. And then the actual color that I got in this one is the 103 Lovely Mauve. They also had a little bit more of a brown one and one that was a little bit more coral. And then this part with the flower is actually quite matte. I think it's gonna have a natural finish. And then the outer part has kind of like a glowy finish. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want, if you want something more glowy or more like satin and natural. But I thought that this looked very beautiful, very nice. Then I also got the eyeshadow palette. There are two eyeshadow palettes in this collection. I only bought one, but I thought they both looked very pretty. I just don't know if you really need both, because some of the shades in the palettes also looked a little bit similar. I swatched them next to each other and I was like, don't really need both. But I got the Enchanting eyeshadow palette in 01 Flight of the Butterfly. So this is also in the purple packaging, and then the actual component of the eyeshadows has this flower embossing on the front. A very pretty. This is also the light purple shade. This color story is kind of like rosy, but there's also some warmth in there, and there's like a cooler tone shade. There's a little bit of a greenish undertone that you can use to kind of deepen up the look. It's a little bit of a mix of warm tones, cool tones, pretty neutral but a little bit interesting. I think this is gonna be a very nice palette. I'm very excited to try it. The other palette that I tried that had this kind of packaging I actually really liked, and usually when I like something in a certain packaging and Kiko brings out that packaging again, then I usually also like that. So I have very high hopes for this eyeshadow palette. Then next up I got the Dazzling liquid eyeshadow. I've never tried a liquid eyeshadow from Kiko, and I thought, you know what, I think this is the time to actually try one and to see. I'm usually not that into cream or liquid eyeshadow. It's not really something I use. It's not really something that I've tried a lot. If I ever bought it, I think I never used it. So we're gonna see how I feel about this one. But the outer box is very pretty once again. And then we have this tube of liquid eyeshadow. And this is a very interesting shade. It looks a bit like iridescent duochrome, like a little bit of a greeny gold to a pink. I think this might be very interesting. I'm very curious to see what this is like. By the way, I also bought a lip gloss, but I don't know where it is at. Let me just see if I left it in my bag. Alright, so apparently something went wrong with the lip gloss because I did put it in my basket, but it isn't on the receipt. I didn't pay for it, so somewhere along the way it got lost. So I'm just quickly gonna show you everything else that I got, and then I think I'm just gonna run back to the store. It's like a 5-minute walk, and I just really wanted to try that lip gloss, and I just want this video to be what I had in mind. So I'm actually gonna film this part of the video and then run back and grab that one. Okay, I did not even realize I didn't put that in my bag. Next up we have the Flower Escape lip oil in the pink packaging, a very, very pretty packaging. It's gonna be so hard to throw that away. Probably I'm gonna keep it. I do think that some of the products in this collection have a really, really beautiful component, but some are a little bit on the more boring side. Then the outer card box is actually the most interesting thing. And sometimes I'm a bit sad when Kiko does that, because I know they can do such good packaging and then it feels a little bit lazy. It feels like they could have done a little bit more if they just make the cardboard box very pretty. But okay, this is what the lip oil looks like. It is so pretty. It has like cornflower leaves on the inside. I am a big fan of cornflowers. It's like my favorite flower ever. In the spring, it's just so amazing to see this whole field of cornflowers. I just really love that. I'm just a big fan of this flower and the color, and that is why I picked this lip oil up. And by the way, I'm just gonna put on a little bit on my lips because my lips are pretty dry. Feels pretty thin and pretty oily. Not all lip oils feel as oily, but this does feel like an oil on the lips. I'm gonna see how my lips are gonna feel when wearing this. Then we have the Blossoming Beauty 3-in-1 all over stick with the pink cardboard box as well. I've already tried the 3-in-1 all over stick once, but that one was in a different packaging, and when I swatched this one, this actually looked pretty glowy. So I thought this was pretty interesting. It has really like this small stick on one side, and then on the other side it has kind of like this sponge applicator. Maybe that could be useful if you put it on your lips with that, but I'm probably not really gonna use it. I thought this was pretty interesting when I swatched it. Then we have the Blossoming Beauty Flower Glow Hydrating Lipstick in the pink cardboard box. And then the actual lipstick is very, very pretty. At first sight you might be like, that looks like a basic Kiko lipstick, but then on the top you have the flower, like raised flower, and I think that is very pretty. It is kind of like this rose gold shade. The shade that I got is kind of like this red nude, a little bit of a toned down nude. This one is 03, and I think this one looks very, very pretty, and I usually am very into the Kiko glowy lipsticks. Okay, so I'm actually gonna run to the store and grab that lip gloss because I was really looking forward to trying that one. Whew. Okay, I'm back. I got my lip gloss. Whew. I walked very fast. Let me take a sip of my drink. Okay, so I just grabbed the Charming Lip Gloss in 01. And this is a pretty interesting shade because it's like a light pink, but then also kind of gold and like multicolored. Very, very interesting. I will just show you up close like this. It is a pretty light gloss, but it looks very interesting and shiny. I hope you can kind of see that. It almost looks kind of lilac-y in the tube. Let me see if I can actually get this open. Whew. Okay, I got it open. It looks a little bit lilac-y as well, kind of like a lilac pink. Let me just do a quick swatch. This is kind of like see-through. It doesn't have much of a base color. Can you see that there? So I think this is going to be very nice on top of lipsticks, on top of other lip products, to kind of get that extra shimmer and shine. So I think this is going to be a very interesting one. I feel like most of these products smell a little bit like perfume, a little bit like flowers, but not too much, not too crazy. Just a little bit. They always have this kind of soapy, flowery smell in their collections. I don't know if I love it, but I don't hate it. It's not like it really bothers me. Okay, so now let's finally get into some application. I'm just gonna start with the eyeshadow, I think. Okay, let's see what I want to do with the eyeshadow palette. I think I just want to grab this one and then put this one in the outer corner, kind of build the crease with that. And then I'm probably gonna put this one down first and see how I feel about that. And then I might mix in one of these shades as well. This one looks a bit light, but when you kind of mix it in, it looks kind of like a bronzy, like a light bronzy shade. Let me just grab a brush. So I'm gonna go into the shade called Joy. It's a little bit powdery. Let's see how pigmented it actually is. It's kind of like a pinky mauve shade. Very pretty. With Kiko eyeshadow palettes, I never feel like I can really tell by the first shade if I'm gonna love it. but at the end of the first look, I usually kind of know how I feel about it. Doing the same over here. This look is gonna be pretty simple. I love spring makeup. I love spring inspired makeup. I love flowers and pastels. This is really up my alley. I already said it, but I just love collections like this. It kind of makes me think of the Charming Escape collection, which I was really into as well. So I just built up the crease with the Mauve shade. And now I'm just gonna take a deeper shade called Happiness, and I'm gonna deepen up the outer corner a little bit. Let's see how deep this can get. I quite like this so far, but I really have to see what these shimmers are like to be able to make up my mind, because it does happen sometimes that I start out a look and then I'm like, oh, that's pretty good, and then at the end I don't really love it. So now I'm a bit scared to really give you my opinion halfway, because sometimes I do change my mind. Okay, so I deepened it up a little bit. I think I'm gonna do the lower lash line as well right now. Just gonna take that Mauve shade again and just run it underneath here. And just gonna take that deeper shade and place that toward the outer part. Just like that. Don't be scared. I'm gonna clean this all up in a bit. I'm just gonna finish the eye look first. So now I first want to get into Perfect Day, and I'm just gonna apply it with my finger. See how I feel about it. It does feel very soft. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that shade. It's kind of more of a cool tone pink than I thought, but that's very pretty actually. I like that. Quite glowy and shiny. More shiny than a lot of Kiko's eyeshadows are. Sometimes they do shimmers that are just a little bit too dry for me, but this is very nice and shiny and I really like the shade. Very pretty and cool toned. I'm just gonna clean up the crease a little bit with my brush, and I think I'm just gonna try all of these shimmers. I'm gonna go into the shade called Freedom, and I'm gonna put that toward the outer part of my eyelid. But this does look like it's getting a little bit of hard pan, just a little bit. I'm still able to pick it up, but it looks a little bit like it's getting hard pan already. Ooh, I think these shades together are really pretty, these shimmers. And now I also want to take the shade Smile, and I want to put that on my lower lash line with a pencil brush. So I'm just gonna take a bit on the brush. I just want to see if this is gonna work out. Okay, I quite like this palette. All of the shades worked well. The shimmers are also shiny, which is always a bit of a thing. with Kiko. I kind of have to wait and see if the shimmers are actually good. But all in all, I quite like this look. I think it's really pretty. The only thing is that Freedom shade, I don't know if you can kind of tell, but this shade, it looks a bit hard pan. I could still pick it up with my finger, but that isn't like the best sign. But for the rest of it, I quite like this look so far. I think I'm just gonna grab a little bit of the pink shade again, the pink shimmer, and put a little bit back on the lid, because I feel like I blended it away a little bit. But that shimmer is really nice. I really like it. It's a pretty look. Okay, now I do want to add in a little bit of the Dazzling liquid eyeshadow, but I'm a bit unsure how I'm gonna do that, where I'm gonna apply this. It's a very pretty iridescent shade. Do I want to put a little bit of this in the inner corner? Is that gonna work out? Just gonna take the pencil brush, kind of blend it. I feel like this is a little bit of a risk because I really don't know how liquid eyeshadow is gonna work on me and if this is gonna stay. I do think it's pretty looking. It does look pretty, but I don't know if it's like light enough to really light up my inner corners. But I'm just gonna even it out. Gonna blend it out with my pencil brush. What do you think? Is this light enough? It's a little bit of a tricky one, but I quite like it. It is quite pretty. I think I want to put a little bit on top of the eye look. I don't want to ruin it, but I do want to test it out. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on top and just gonna blend it out with my finger. I really hope that this is gonna stay on and I didn't make a mistake. But it's pretty, it's shiny. It's kind of like a topper, extra shiny topper. I think it's really nice. Okay, gonna do the same on the other eye. Maybe it's gonna stay on because I'm not putting that much on my eye. But I have really oily eyelids and I'm also a bit scared to use products like this on my eyelids. Like cream products, liquid products, but who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? I think it looks really pretty and shiny. Okay. I really like this look so far. I think it is very, very nice. I'm just going to clean up under my eyes a little bit. I'm just going to put on some mascara, do my brows, and then I'm going to come back for the cheek products and the lip products. Alright, so this is the eyeshadow all done, and I'm actually really, really into this look. It's very romantic, kind of pinky, but also kind of interesting with the more cool tones. I really like how the liquid eyeshadow looks, but I cannot really say just yet if I love it because I don't know how well it's gonna stay on. So I'm gonna see how long it's gonna stay on. It's a little bit of a risk because I'm going somewhere tonight. I'm going to see some friends, so it's probably gonna be a little bit of a later night. I'm gonna be in bed at a later time, so this is really gonna be a test. I hope it's not gonna crease all over, but at least I can really tell you how long it wears. Let's get into the bronzer. So I got the deepest shade that is a little bit more cool toned. It looks a little bit like a satin natural finish. It smells really perfumey. This one smells really perfumey. If you are really sensitive to perfume, I would suggest smelling these in store if you can, because Kiko does like to put in perfume. It's their thing. They really like doing that, and that's kind of like a selling point as well. I personally don't always love it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in and take a little bit on my brush. I have no idea. This is gonna be a very, very pigmented bronzer. So I'm just gonna start blending. Yeah, it doesn't seem crazy pigmented. I can pick up quite a bit. It's a nice color. It does blend out nice. Do I feel like it's really shiny? I guess it's not completely matte, but I wouldn't call this a glowy bronzer or anything like that. Not that they say it is, but sometimes bronzers can be very glowy, quite glowy without anyone actually stating that it is. So just putting this on the other side as well. Just blending it out. I think it's really pretty. It looks really pretty. Very nice shade. Kind of like a neutral bronzer. And not too deep. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have any shimmer in there. It just looks very natural and nice. Just gonna put a little bit on my forehead. Just blending. I really, really love how this eyeshadow looks. I'm looking at this eyeshadow, I'm like, that's really nice. That's really pretty. I'm into it. This bronzer is very buildable. It has a nice finish. Just very natural, very pretty. There don't seem to be any shimmers on my face. I don't have any complaints. I think it's really nice. It blended out really easily. There's like this really natural sheen almost. Kind of like the satin sheen. But nothing that is really glowy. Then we're moving on to the multi-finish floral blush. The one that I got in a mauve shade. And I'm just going to be mixing both sides because I just really want to know how glowy this looks if you kind of mix it. Okay, this is a really nice shade. It looks really pretty. It is not too pigmented. Once again, quite a buildable product. It's really not shimmery or anything. There aren't like shimmers in it. You don't really see shimmers on your face. Maybe if you go really, really close to the mirror, but I think it looks really good on the skin. So this is what the blush and bronzer looks like. I think they look really pretty. The blush is not like extremely glowy or metallic. It's just very natural and very pretty, and I really like that type of blush. I'm really into it. Okay, so we have... I just realized that I forgot to use the 3-in-1 all over stick. Do I just want to put a little bit on top, or is that really risky? I want to try it. I'm here to try all the things for you, so and I forgot about this one, so I still really want to try it because I think it's going to be a pretty interesting product. I'm just going to put a little bit on my cheek and I'm just going to go for it. I know this isn't the order you would usually do this in, but I'm just trying things out and seeing how this goes and if I can make this work. I think it would blend out more easily if I would have done this first, but it's still working out. I think this isn't really like a fair shot. to this product. It looks really pretty though. I feel like this 3-in-1 all over stick is a little bit more shiny than what they usually are like. They usually have more of a natural finish and this one is a little bit more creamy. It does dry down pretty fast, but you can still manipulate it. I feel like I'm kind of making this work, but I wouldn't recommend putting this cream blush over a powder blush. I wouldn't say do what I do, but I'm just doing it for the video. I just want to see the color and the finish, and I think it's really pretty. Still, it looks good. These are products that you can quite easily use on top of powder products. You can. Okay, I don't know if this was the smartest move. It doesn't look perfect right now. It does look a little bit odd right now. I'm thinking what I want to do. Maybe I'm just gonna take this off a little bit and then put the cream on top. Take off a little bit of the powder and then put it on top, because I do want to tell you what I think about it. Okay, I took off the powder a little bit. I'm gonna put on the cream because I just want to know. Gonna blend it out. I do feel like it blends out differently than the other 3-in-1 all over stick that I have. It's a little bit of a different formula, so be warned, it's not exactly the same thing. But it is very blendable, it looks very good, and it dries down kind of right away. Yeah, I think it's pretty. I like it. I think I'm just gonna put a little bit of the powder blush on top to make both sides a little bit more even. Wow, I really messed it up right there, but I did kind of still try it, but just in another order than what I was planning. These are really nice blushes. I really like them. This one is just a little bit more glowy, I feel, and a little bit more juicy, a little bit more creamy, but it still really dries down, so it's not sticky. Okay, let me see if I'm not forgetting anything else. I bought more products than I usually do. I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try the lip gloss on my lips without anything underneath, because I just want to see how that looks, and then I'm gonna take that off and actually try the lipstick. So let me just apply this gloss. It feels very nice, it's very shiny, it isn't sticky at all. I think it's really cool shade of lip gloss. It really has this kind of cool toned glow to it that I really like. But I wouldn't really wear it on its own because it is a little bit too icy. But I think with the nude lip, like a light nude cool toned lip underneath, this would be really cool. And I really like this formula. It feels good and I like the shine. I'm into this gloss, I really am, but I have to try it with a little bit of a different lip look than just wearing it on its own, because I don't think that's gonna be the hugest success. Although I also swatched other shades of this lip gloss formula, of this lip gloss range, and some of them are a little bit more opaque, and I think you could probably use those on their own, but they are very shiny. They are quite metallic, so you have to like that. I'm just gonna take this off, put on some lip liner, and then I'm gonna apply the lipstick. Alright, so I just applied the MAC Pro Longwear lip liner in Control. This kind of also has that light red nude vibe, so I hope it's gonna go with the lipstick, and this is the glowy lipstick. I am very curious to see how this looks. I think it's gonna be very pretty, so I'm just gonna apply this. So I really like this shade. It is, as I said, kind of like that toned down light red nude. I think it is very pretty. I love the shine, I love the formula. It just feels very comfortable. It feels very good on the lips. I'm really into it. I really like this, but I usually quite like the shiny lipstick formula by Kiko in their limited editions. Alright, so this is gonna be the finished look. This wasn't like the smoothest video I've ever filmed. Some things went wrong, but I still feel like I got quite a good impression of this collection. And I don't think there's anything that I don't like here. I actually really like this collection. I really like the final look. Let me just go over everything. Let's just discuss. So first up, the bronzer I actually really like. I think it looks very good. It blended out very well. It has this nice kind of natural sheen. Just what I expected, really cute. Is it really revolutionary? Is it really something you can find anywhere else in the Kiko limited editions? No, it is basically what they always do, but I do really love the packaging. So I would say if you haven't tried any Kiko bronzers, if you're looking for a bronzer, they do have very nice ones. The range though is very limited, and I really hope that they are gonna change that, but I at least really like this one and I would recommend it. It's just something that you can find in every Kiko collection. Then we have the blush. I really like the blush. It looks very pretty. It looks kind of glowy, but nothing too crazy. Just a very natural glow, which is just a little bit more interesting than just a matte blush. I really like this shade. I really like how this looks on the cheeks. Very, very pretty. Then we have the eyeshadow palette. I really love how this look turned out. I think the shades in here are so pretty, kind of romantic. They all blended together very well, work together very well. The shimmers in here are very shiny. It's just a good quality, decent quality palette. If you like this color story, I would recommend it. Of course, I have to try it a little bit more, but the formula is very similar to another palette in the same format that I have tried from Kiko, so I'm pretty confident to tell you that I quite like this, and I just think this is a very kind of soft romantic look, a little bit more interesting than just a neutral look, but still very wearable. I'm really into it. Also the Dazzling liquid eyeshadow, I think it looks great on the eyes. It's very shiny, it's very glowy. I just have to see how this wears, but if you're usually someone who really likes liquid eyeshadows, this is a very pretty iridescent topper and it was really easy to blend out. It dried down very quickly. I really like it so far. Then we have the lip oil that I applied at the start. I don't feel like this is extremely hydrating. It just really feels like putting an oil on the lips, and sometimes lip oils just feel a little bit more hydrating, like there's a little bit more to it. It's just a little bit more thick and juicy on the lips. This is just a very thin formula. I think this is one that's going to be very nice in the summer, but if you have really dry lips in the winter, then this is probably not gonna fix that. So I'm not the hugest fan of this one, but I also don't hate it. It's just okay to me. Then we have the gloss. I really think it's a beautiful shade. I really like it so far, but I just had it on my lips for like 2 seconds. I really have to try it with the right lip liner or lipstick underneath, but at least it's not sticky. It looks very nice. I really like this kind of cool toned pinky lilac-y color. Oh yeah, right, I keep forgetting the 3-in-1 all over stick. I don't know why I'm doing that, because I really like it. So this is the 3-in-1 all over stick in 04. I think it's really pretty. It is quite similar to the 3-in-1 all over sticks that we've seen before. Just a little bit more creamy, just a little bit more juicy. It does blend very well. It does dry down very quickly. It works just as well, just as easy as the 3-in-1 all over sticks that we have seen before. It's just a little bit different than what they had before, but I still really like it. It is very nice and glowy. It is a great product. I would recommend this. And then we have the lipstick. This is just very good, nice and juicy. I think this is just the same formula as what we have seen from Kiko before. I don't think it's anything different from other shiny lipsticks I tried from them. I just think it looks very pretty. It kind of adds some color to the face without being like a bright red lipstick. I'm really into this one. I also think that this component is very cute. So all in all, I really like everything in this collection, except for the lip oil is kind of like so-so. It's just okay, but everything else I really enjoyed. So this was a very successful video. Like, some things went wrong along the way. I had to go and run to the store to grab my lip gloss, but all in all, it was really successful. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. And also let me know in the comments if you picked up anything from this collection. Is there anything you're eyeing? And then I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!